Alright guys, I'm going to show you guys how to make carne con chile red sauce with white rice. Red sauce with white rice. Let me taste the rice first. Just a little bit of meat. The sauce is nice and red. Good. Alright guys, well, we're going to get started to make this carne con chile, red chili salsa, guys. That's what we're making. We're going to start off with about, this is probably about 3 pounds of pork chops. They're actually were center cut pork chops, and what I did is I just cut them up into little cubes and put them away like that. So we're going to drop them in some oil with some onions, and then we're going to brown that all up. Brown it up, and then once we brown it up, I'm going to add some water to it, and then we're going to add a cup of water to it. I'm going to add about 10 ounces of water, and then we're going to let that all cook till it all evaporates. Once we evaporate, then we're going to add our chile to it. Simple process. So the first step is I'm going to put the meat in right now. Next thing I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to season it, guys. And what I'm going to season it with is I'm going to use some onion powder and some garlic powder, okay? A little bit of both, and some salt. Just to season the meat, guys, while we brown it up a little bit. Now I'm going to put some garlic powder. And then I'm going to add some salt. And I'm still going to have to add some more salt later, but this is just for the browning part. I'm going to add it, I'm going to let it brown a little bit, and then I'm going to add my onions to it. Okay, I added my onions already, guys. Just gonna let them all break up together. We'll let it all brown up now, guys. Onions will start caramelizing. Once the meat browns up a little bit, I'm gonna add some water to it, and then I'm gonna let that water evaporate. It already smells good. Let that brown up a little bit. While the chops are being done, guys, we're gonna work on our salsa. So the salsa is gonna be a red. It's gonna be a red salsa chili, guys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add these 10 medium-sized tomatoes. I'm gonna add 3 serranos. I'm gonna add garlic. I'm gonna add some onions, and then I'm gonna add some seasoning. So let's get through this first. Put this all in. I'm gonna add a little bit of water, and that's gonna basically consist of our salsa for this dish. All right, guys, our meat's going good now. You can see it's released a lot of grease now. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add about 10 ounces of water to it, guys. All right. Kind of submerges it a little bit. Now we're just gonna let that water evaporate, guys, before we add our salsa. I showed you where we're gonna do our salsa right now. Let's just go back to the salsa. Okay, we have our 10 tomatoes in there. We have some onions. We have 4 garlics in there because they were small. I'm gonna add about 10 ounces of water. Okay, some salt. No measuring, guys. Sorry. We don't measure. Okay. It's going to be a tight fit. Alright, we're ready. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, yeah. It's nice and thick. Let's give it a little taste. It's good, guys. Very good. Perfect. Let me show you guys this part right here, guys. See how the water, we added the water. Our water is going to start boiling now. So now we just basically, we have to let that water boil out of it, okay? Once that water boils out of it, evaporates, our waters are, it's going to get all down to the bottom, and they'll start crackling a little bit, that's when we're gonna add our salsa to it. Salsa's all ready. We just gotta hang in there now. With this dish, guys, with our carne con chile, we are gonna make, I'm gonna show you guys how to make some white Mexican rice. White Mexican rice. So simple ingredients, guys. We're gonna use some butter or soft spread, whatever you want. We're gonna use that. Right now I'm gonna put some in there. Okay. You're gonna need that enough. You're gonna need enough in there. You could use oil too. I like oil. I like using oil also. Today I'm gonna use butter. This is the way my mom does it. We're gonna make it with butter, and then we're gonna fry up our rice with our onions. Add a couple of bell peppers, and this is gonna be white Mexican rice. Okay, white Mexican rice. So let me get this butter going and add my onions real quick. Okay. So you can see I added my butter in there. My butter's melting down. I haven't added my rice yet. I added my onions already. So it's just ironing. See, normally I would use oil to brown up my rice, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna use butter this time. So I'm gonna add 3 cups of white rice, white long grain rice, guys. And we're just gonna brown that up. I'm gonna let that all brown up. I'm gonna add a couple of strings of bell pepper right now too. You guys can see I added my bell peppers. What I do is cut the bell peppers in long pieces, and I added 5 pieces. So we're gonna let that brown up a little bit, and then get my next step. I'm gonna get my water ready. I'm gonna get for 3 cups of rice. I like to use 8 cups of water. 8 cups. So let me get my water ready. Okay, guys, you guys can see right here it's already starting to change color a little bit, starting to brown up. You don't want it to burn. You don't want to get in it dark. You kind of just want it changing the tint of the white. So right there at this point, it's perfect color right there. So now I'm gonna add my 8 cups of water. 8 cups of water. Then I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Just make sure that that rice is not stuck at the bottom. So I don't want it to burn. This is that simple, guys. Now I'm just going to add my spices to it. The only thing I'm going to add now, guys, I'm going to add my chicken bouillon, which is our Knorr chicken bouillon, guys. You have to add this. If you don't add this, it's not going to come out the same. Add your chicken bouillon, and then I'm gonna add. I can't do it with showing you guys, but I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of salt. 2 tablespoons. Once you add your 2 ingredients, your Knorr and your salt, you're gonna give it a good mixing of all the rice. Just break it off so it's not sticking to the bottom or the sides. Okay. And then now we're just gonna cover it and let it come to a boil. Let it come to a boil, okay? Checking up on this side over here. See how this is all boiling down? Real quick, it's gonna get down to nothing. When it gets all the juices gets down to nothing, that's when we're gonna add our salsa. Okay, guys, I wanted to show you guys on the rice. See how the rice is going good now? So now that it's going good, I'm gonna drop it down to a simmer. I'm going to drop my flame down to halfway. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to inspect it. I'm going to see the water. Water is going to evaporate. Once it starts evaporating, you're going to see the rice start coming up. And you're going to see water pooling through the bottom of it. That's you got to. The thing about rice is you got to know when to turn it off. If you don't turn it off at the right moment and let it sit, at this point, guys, you never stir your rice again. Never. Don't touch your rice no more. You don't do nothing to it. You just let it cook. Right now, you're going to start seeing it evaporate. And then I'm going to, at one point, you got to know when to turn it off. I'm going to demonstrate to you guys. I'm going to show you guys. Right now, it's going good. Still about at least 20 minutes away from being done. Over here, the pork chops, you can see the water's already evaporating, starting to crystallize at the bottom. We're gonna let that go down a little bit more, about 20 more minutes, 15 more minutes, maybe 10 more minutes. And then I'm gonna add our salsa to it. Our sauce is already ready right there. We're ready to dump it in. Super bomb. Okay, I wanted to demonstrate to you guys right here. Guys, you see how all the water is kind of evaporating and how it's starting to sizzle down? That's because the water is all coming down, and it's coming down to the water and the grease that was released by the fat of the meat. So right now it's almost done. It's probably about 3 more minutes. I'm gonna let it just, that water evaporate a little bit more, and I'm gonna add the chile to it. All right, guys, now we're back again. See? Almost all of the water is gone now. It's pretty much just a little bit of grease. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add our salsa to it, guys. Right here we have our salsa. We're going to add our salsa now. Alright guys, we added our salsa to it now. So now we're just going to let it cook. See how it's a pink color right now? It has to turn to a dark red. So we're gonna let our salsa cook up now. Over here, we have our rice. See how the rice is starting to rise up? Bubbles are going down. A few more minutes, I'm gonna show you guys. When the water really starts rising up, you'll see the top of the rice will start bubbling. That's when you gotta turn it off. Alright guys, I want to show you guys. See how I was telling you about the bubbles coming out from the bottom? You're not supposed to uncover it, but see right there, we're still about 5 minutes away. I'm going to cover this back up. Wait about 5 more minutes, and I'm going to just turn it off. Just turn it off, and then let it sit. You don't open it no more, no nothing. You can let it sit. Okay. At this point, guys, I'm just going to turn it off, see? No more bubbles coming out the bottom. Barely tiny little bubbles are coming out the bottom, but no more bubbles coming out. I'll show you one more little peek. I'm just going to turn it off and let it sit. It's going to rest on its own. Over here. See how it's changing colors now? It's turning a deeper red. This probably has about 25 more minutes left, maybe a half hour. Just gonna let it simmer. It's gonna turn to a deeper red. And it'll be all ready. Little progress update here, guys. Check it out. Salsa's turning dark red, like I told you guys. Once it gets cooking, it's gonna turn a different color. It's looking good. About 15 more minutes, it's gonna be done. Over here, rice is done. Look at that. Nice fluffy white rice to perfection, guys. Almost done. We're just waiting on our meat now. As you guys can see now, it's really turning to a dark red color. What I noticed is, like, you can almost see the grease coming up right here, see? And you could taste it right here. If you taste this right here, taste this. That way you could imagine, you could get, if you need a little bit more salt, you need a little bit more, maybe some granulated garlic. But at this point, it's perfect, guys. It just tastes so perfect. Let me show you guys what it's looking like down there. Just mix it up a little bit. It's about 5 minutes away. It's already all done, guys. It's turning to that dark color. Once the water evaporates out of it, the chili is just going to turn into a different color, and it's going to really be perfect color. If it's turning thicker, that's just what you want. You want the water evaporated for it to get thick. About 5 more minutes. Once those 10 ounces of water evaporates, guys, you guys are going to notice your sauce is going to turn nice and red and rich. Like this. See that? There's almost no water in it no more, so it's turning nice and red and thick. That's when you know it's done. That's pretty much it, guys. Super simple recipe to make. I timed myself today. It took me 1 hour and 10 minutes to make both the carne con chile and the white rice. And you guys can see my white rice right here. Came out pretty good. Pretty fluffy. I'm sure it's not burnt on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve myself and I'm going to show you guys what we got here, right? Alright guys, I'm going to show you guys how to make carne con chile red sauce with white rice. Red sauce with white rice. Let me taste the rice first. Just a little bit of meat. The sauce is nice and red. Good.